Amarillo. What building that is? Like, they must have researched this stuff. It'd be really nice if it just said at the bottom, such and such a building. Like, they've put it in the game because they've seen it on Google Maps and it has a significance. Is he trying to break in, or is he cleaning the window? That guy on the right? Faux Spider-Man, yeah. TV. Golden Game Truck Company. You what? Was the headquarters of the Squirrel phone, really? I thought this orange bit meant it was pedestrianised. I've not seen the new paint jobs for ETS2. Don't know why. Are they bad? Street art paint jobs. Hey, underpass, look at this. Apparently the speed limit through those 30. Was brave. Oh, Buccaneer Dan, you should try it in Italy. You should try it, honestly. If you think the US is bad, try Italy. Pedestrian crossings, they might as well not be painted. No, that's not how it works, gents. You don't get drivers to stop while stepping on the road. You wait till they've gone and then you step on the road. That's how it works. You're either very brave and lucky, or crazy and lucky. Vortex. India? Blimey, no, India's crazy. People die on Indian roads all the time. Where are we putting this? Right, okay. Not yet legal. That'll do. Alright, where are we? Dalhart. There's only a couple of factories. Well, there's a few there, I suppose. Let's drive down here, and then I'll go make a cup of tea. And then we'll come back and do the solar story.
Cup of tea?
Yes, please. JF said, yes, please. But I think Mrs. Squirrel's still out, so I've got to make it myself. That scared you. It is quite loud, that one. But that's Mrs. Squirrel for you. You thought your mum called you. What? Can't see a flipping thing.
Got some cake?
I've come out to turn that down. Yes, I'll have some cake, Homer. Hang on. Might be a little bit quieter now. Right, so this is Dalhart coming up. It's the northwest city in Texas. How's it going? Not so bad. That's a combine, isn't it? Blimey. It is so flat, look at this. Have you tried owning your own trailer? Yep. It basically restricts you to certain kind of... If you're trying to explore a map goal, it's better not to own a trailer because it narrows down the directions that you'll be able to go because you're selecting from a subset of the job market. And I don't think there's enough jobs in the job market, personally. I've always said the job market needs to generate more jobs and make sure there's a good distribution of direction and weight load. Because often you'll find there's loads of jobs going east or north and then nothing going west. So if you're trying to bounce your way around the map, it can be tricky. Yeah, I don't like doing that, agreed. So I'd rather get paid to drive around, you know? I'd rather... Because you're going to accrue... I mean, I know I've got 47 million in the bank, etc., but I'd rather the game reward me XP and money for travelling than just travel. Yeah, that would be nice. A reputation system would be good because it would encourage you to take... It would encourage you to sort of drive for different companies to try and build rep with them. And then certain trailers could be hidden behind rep, things like that. That would be a nice thing to have. There's a repair centre over here, allegedly. Fixed. Right, I'm just going to make a cup of tea, guys, so I should be back in a few minutes. Right, just give me a couple of minutes, BRB, and then we'll have the solar story. I'll run some ads now just to see if it makes any difference to people later. back. What are my gloves? There they are. Ah, right. Time to make a cup of tea, sort the dogs out. Chris94, thank you very much, sir. You are very kind. 10 subs gifted. There's a whole bunch of you. Some of you are new subs. Some of you are on a resub there. Please give Chris a thank you for his generosity. Don't forget to join our Discord server and say hi. You should automatically... Listen, guys, can I run a test by you? Just try something for me if you've got Discord. If you was one of the subs that just got gifted a sub from Chris, so that's Whacker1 or Spudman ST or Captain Sam Vines or WD Undertaker Fan 92. No, you're not you because you're 22 months. If you're new subs, can you try and see if my Discord server appears for you now as a test? It's not resolved, gens, but actually is Imp still here? It should, when you get a sub, it should automatically show you the server straight away, allegedly. However, the thing that I don't think is working, and I'm going to try now. Let me see, Imp. Integration, 1 second. Because the other part of the test is how much does it resynchronize? And the answer is that. 1 second. Where are you? 1 second, guys. Okay, so interestingly, Imp, it looks like it's changed to Thursday at 10:58 a.m. because I think it used to be Wednesday at 22:11. So it looks like it has done something. So maybe it is actually doing that sync every week now. Possibly. We'll know for certain next week. Anyway, if you've just got gifted a sub and you're new, does Discord appear for you? That's the question. No, not anymore, Andy Lad. Andy Lad, it appears straight away now, allegedly. They said there's a webhook that gets called automatically, and so it should instantly show you the Discord server. We're still trying to test it. Still trying to test it. We're trying to see if we can prove or disprove their theory. Right, let's change the time of day here. Let's go for like 6 a.m. Let's have a look where we want to go. Kind of want to go here or here. Abilene or San Angelo, somewhere like that. It works differently. From what we can work out, Captain Flynn, it works differently to what it used to. It used to synchronize every hour. Now it doesn't synchronize every hour. What they say it does is when you sub, it instantly synchronizes and it automatically refreshes the server every week. Don't know how true that is. That's kind of what we're trying to work out. So it's now working in a different way. Where are we going? San Angelo or Abilene? Don't see any jobs going that way at all. Let's try a contract. There's one. That's one possibility. But, you know, in theory, it means that you're not getting kicked out. Also, if you're in Discord, say hi just to make sure that we hit the Discord partner agreement numbers. If you could. Thanks. Thanks. Hoop jumping. Let's have a look. What's it called? San Angelo. That is sorted by destination. So there's not a single job going to San Angelo, apparently. Okay. It'll have to be that then. You're dressed up as a Canadian cop at the moment. Listen, Eric, what you do in your private life in your bedroom, that's up to you, my man. You want to dress up as a cop? You go for it. You want to dress up as Sooty? That's all good. Begin delivery. I mean, who are we to argue? Hey, Ken, what's wrong with a Sooty outfit? Flopsy Doodle, thank 15 months. The advantage of a Sooty outfit, you don't have to say very much. You go to parties, not that I'd know, but you can go to a party and not say very much, because you're Sooty. Alright, let's get this job, get on the road. Can I finish the story before we get to the trailer drop-off? That's the question. Just trying to figure out how to put this story across. Yeah, but Sweep has to make a noise. Sooty doesn't have to make any noise. Sooty can literally say nothing. Texas, yeah, it's good. Oh my god, I can't even see the turning point. Is that it though? Flopsy Doodle, that was what was amazing about Sooty. He could cast spells, yet he couldn't talk. How many wizards have you ever known that could cast spells without saying things? He's the only one. He's unique. Stephen N, thank you 13 months. It's a well-known fact, if you want to stop a wizard in his tracks, you just gag him. And then he can't cast any spells. But not Sooty. He still needed a stick. He did need a stick. Right, back through our... What is... I've just noticed that. Look at this. What is that walnut whip thing? That is bonkers. That's like the American version of the clover leaf. Right, there's nothing to stop at here. Nothing there we need to do. Nothing there. There's something here, but that's on the other side of the road. Oh, we could go that way. That's interesting. Yeah, let's do that. If we go that way, we can pick that up and go take a different road. Yeah, that works. Let's go. I've not seen it, Sarge King. I've seen Homer Simpson's bits, I've seen JFZ's bits, Chris's deliveries, Zinem with 66 months. Thank you, sir. Flopsy Doodle 15 and Stephen with 13. I haven't seen yours. Don't think it's come through. How's the weather? Do you mean in the game or IRL? A little bit windy. I don't know, Sarge King, you're the only one that's had a problem. Yeah, cloudy at the moment. of sunshine later, I think. Okay, let's knock this solar thing on the head, shall we? Let's get this story out of the way. Okay, so I ordered... Let's start at the beginning. I ordered my solar installation back in June. I ordered it back in June, right? Well, actually, I got the guys around in June, got 3 different quotes, etc. Went with one, and then we had this like discussion. We had this discussion about how many panels and what battery and all the rest of it. So I have like a main bit on the house with a roof, pitched roof like that, east west, yeah. And then I have an extension which has an east-west roof. So, a couple of options here. Do I just put panels on the front, just get the east? Do I put them on the west? Do I put them on the extension? You know, how many panels? How many panels can I fit on there? That was the next problem. There was some debate about how many panels people thought I could get on the roof. Different installers said different things. Because without getting up there and measuring it, it's kind of tricky to work out how many panels you can get. There you go, 19 months Sarge King, thank you. So that was the first problem, is how many panels, right? Now, on the one hand, you're thinking to yourself, how many panels do I need? How many solar panels do you need? How much energy are you using anyway? You know, can you go overkill on this? Is there such a thing as too many panels? Is that a thing? Anyway, we worked out in the end, and we're talking after about 3 weeks of debate, in the end, it was worked out that I could have 12 panels on my main roof, front, and 12 panels back. Right? So 12 panels facing east, 12 panels facing west, for a total of 24 panels. Yeah, write it down, gents. And then, if I wanted to, I could have 2 panels on my extension facing east, and 2 panels on my extension facing west, for a total of 28 panels. 400 watts a panel, 11.2 kilowatts. That's a lot. That's a lot. Nearly chip, I don't know what to do, dude. Let me pause the story. Let me pause the story. I need to run ads. I need to run some ads so that I get 10 minutes of quiet. Not at the moment, Racker. I'm too busy, man. Yeah, we know you've got ads. I can't hear you. You can't hear me. What is going on here? What are you doing? What? Dude. You're going to stop in the middle of the road. You madman. Even the pickup didn't turn. So, on the one hand, you're thinking, that's more panels than I need, isn't it? Right? That's more panels than I need. That's going to generate more power than I use, without a doubt. But, on the other hand, if you're going to pay somebody to come along and put scaffolding up on your house, and install a climb up and start pulling tiles off, screwing things into your roof rafters, laying panels out, you might as well do it once and get as many panels as you can get up there. Yeah? That's the other side of the coin. The panels themselves are not that expensive. Getting somebody to put them up there is the expensive bit. So, that's kind of the road I took on this. Get more panels up there. Well, yes, you can, Zugwig. So if you go with a provider that allows you to export electricity and sell it, then any power you're not using, you can sell. Although they don't pay a great deal. You know, they might pay you 5 or 7 pence per kilowatt hour, and then when you buy it from them, they might charge you 37 pence, right? So, but it's still free money. It's free money. So I went with the option of, right, I'm doing this once, I'm going to put as many panels as I can. Okay, they said, right, the problem is, if you want to have 11.2 kilowatts of panels, you will need an 8 kilowatt inverter to drive the main stuff and a separate 1 kilowatt inverter to drive the extension. Okay, remember this is important detail. You will need an 8 kilowatt inverter to drive the main 24 panels and a 1 kilowatt inverter to drive the 4 separate panels. Okay, what battery do you want? They said. I said, how much are your batteries? We sell them in 5 kilowatt hour battery chunks. Looked online, realised that the battery they were selling were literally £1,000 more than I could buy online. So I thought, here's what I'll do. I'll get them to install one battery. So they wire it all up, right? And then when they turn up, I'll try and buy some more batteries over summer. I'll buy my own batteries because I can get them £1,000 each cheaper than they're selling them for, right? That's what I'm thinking. Because batteries are not cheap. And what they're adding about 25%, 30% on top or something. So that's what I'll do. So I looked in the quote at the battery model, made a note of it, went online, found a place that sells them. They were out of stock because trying to get batteries right now is just nigh on impossible. But I waited and I waited, and eventually I managed to buy some more batteries. So I bought 3 batteries. So I thought they can put 1 battery in and I'll bring another 3 to the party. Is my plan. Okay. So all that was sorted out back in July, and that was it. We just waited. We just waited. What did we wait for? We waited for the electric company, UK Power Networks. We waited for them to approve the whole thing because they have to approve it. You can't put anything up bigger than 3 kilowatts without getting approval first. Yeah. Eventually in October, UK Power Networks authorised it and said, yep, there you go. You can put this installation up. And even better, they said you can export up to 9.6 kilowatt hours. Sorry, 9.6 kilowatts of power. They allow me to export 9.6 kilowatts of power if I want to. Not that I want to, but I could, which is cool. That's about as much as the system will ever produce. I could export all of it, which is awesome. So then the installation was booked in. How much is 9.6 kilowatts worth? It's not worth anything. Kilowatts is the power. Kilowatt hours is the energy. Think of it that way. So if I exported 9 kilowatts for 1 hour, that would be 9 kilowatt hours. Yeah? 9 kilowatts for an hour is 9 kilowatt hours. That would be worth, on export, if they paid me 7 pence, 9 times 7 pence. Not a lot. But if you're running that all day long in summer, that can start to rack up. Anyway, we're digressing. So the whole thing was approved in October, and it was booked in November. And then this is where the fun begins. So, a couple of weeks ago, I emailed the guy and I said, he booked the date in for the Wednesday the whatever it was. What date was Wednesday? 9th? Something like that. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was the install date. When's the scaffolding coming, I said. He said, either on the Monday or the Tuesday, the scaffolder will call you nearer the time and book it in. So Monday came, and I got up nice and early thinking, okay, scaffolder might be here today, but I've not had a call. Monday afternoon, still no sign of a scaffolder. I'm thinking, right. So I phone them up and I say, you know that scaffolder that you booked? Well, nobody's turned up yet. So is he turning up tomorrow? Because I'm concerned your guys are coming down on Wednesday and there's no scaffolding. I got an automatic email back from this guy saying, I no longer work at the company. was like, what? So the guy who was sorting out my installation, who booked the scaffolder, automated email saying, I no longer work at the company. And I'm thinking, okay. So in a mild panic, I get on the phone. And I phone them up and I say, right, I said, I've got a solar panel installation booked with you on Wednesday. And I've just emailed my installation manager. And I've got an email back saying he no longer works with you. Yes, that's right. He left the company 2 weeks ago. Okay. Well, he's booked scaffolding to come today, and it's not come. And it needs to come tomorrow, otherwise there's going to be a problem when you lot show up on Wednesday. Your installation manager is now Beth. I think her name was Beth. No, Kat. That was it. Kat. Okay. She puts me through to Kat. Has a chat with me. I'm like, why doesn't Will work there anymore? Why is this installation manager gone? We had a few problems with him, so yeah, he's left the company. I said, well, he's booked a scaffolding installation today and tomorrow. So, and she had a look, she went, yeah, so actually, I said, has he booked the scaffolding? No, he's not. I'm like, literally his email 2 weeks ago said he'd booked it. Yeah, this is kind of why we let him go. Because he wasn't doing things that he said he was doing. So I'm like, oh my god. She's like, okay, I'll get back to you this afternoon. I'll try and get a scaffolder. And I'm thinking, how long have I been waiting for this? And this guy hasn't even booked my scaffolding. There's no way we're going to get scaffolding, you know, literally 24 hours notice. Oh my god, stay there. Anyway, she phones back 2 hours later. Is it alright if the scaffolders come at 8 AM tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, sure. I'm like genuinely surprised. And I'm also thinking, how much did they pay? If you fold a scaffolder up and say, I need scaffolding up tomorrow, how much do you have to pay for that? They're going to charge you a fortune. Like, that's the only people who ever need that are emergency problems, like your roof's falling in. You know what I mean? Like, everybody books scaffolding in weeks in advance. Anyway, these scaffolders turned up at 8 AM. Boom, 3 hours later, the scaffolding was up. Okay, we're getting here. Right, this is not so bad. So that's the scaffolding dealt with. Wednesday morning, I get up nice and early thinking they're probably going to be here quite early, aren't they? They're probably going to turn up early on Wednesday and start the installation. Because let's face it, in the middle of winter, there aren't that many daylight hours. You know, 8 till 4 is it. So I'm thinking they're probably going to turn up at 8. So I get up, 8 o'clock, no sign of it. 9 o'clock. No sign of them. 9:30 on Wednesday of installation day. One van turns up. Okay. 2 of the guys turn up. I'm like, is that it? Is it just you 2? And a small van? He's like, no, there's another one on the way as well. Okay, what about all the equipment? Oh, that's coming separately. Right. So you're here, but you can't do anything because there's no equipment yet. Why didn't the equipment turn up yesterday? Okay, whatever. 10 o'clock, third guy turns up. Everybody is now sat outside in the van. Literally, there's 2 vans, three guys. It's 10:30, and they're all sat in the van. Day 1 installation. Because there's no stuff, and they can't do anything without any stuff. To top all of that off, the electrical guy goes, so where's the inverter going? And I look at him like, are you serious? Like, you've turned up to an installation and you've not even looked at what you're doing yet. You don't even know where the inverter's going. Photographs were taken, stuff was spec'd out. There's notes on there that I insisted on having. Like, you have no clue what you're doing. Are you actually serious? And he went, I said, it's in the loft. The inverter's going in the loft. He was like, oh. I said, don't worry. I said, I've boarded it all. I said, it looks great up there. I said, it'd be like a hotel compared to what you're normally used to. This is going well. So they start phoning up the company. Where's the stuff? 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, this van turns up. So it's 11 o'clock on day one. Nobody's done anything. The van turns up. They start unloading loads of solar panels. And then a battery. And then some other boxes of stuff. And I said, have you got everything you need? And he went, well, we haven't got the inverter yet, but it's all right, I can carry on. I was like, wait, what? You haven't got your... I said, there's 2 inverters, isn't there? He said, yeah, I've been looking at the design. Why is there 2 inverters? I said, well, the designer guy said you need a big inverter for the main panels, and then you need a little inverter for the separate 4 panels, because the big one can't handle everything. And he was like, that's not going to work, mate. I'm like, what do you mean it's not going to work? He said, you can't have 2 separate inverters. They have to be the same size and preferably the same make. And I'm looking at him like, your guys designed it. I said, well, that's what was spec'd out. And that's what your design guy said would work. And he's like, yeah, but they're not electricians, are they? So they don't know. I'm like, I'll leave that one with you. So I walked off. So I went and had a chat with Mrs. Squirrel. I said to her, you know there's 2 inverters? Yeah. Well, apparently that won't work. Right. So they've designed it and it won't work. Right. And the inverter's not here anyway. The van's been, but they're not on it. So we can't even, like, there's no inverter. It's literally the main thing in the system. So anyway, the roofers are happy. So there's 2 roofers and 1 electrician. The roofers are happy. They start climbing up on the roof. So they start doing their thing, because they've got all the panels. They've got all the panels they need. They've got all the bits. So the roofers are happy. Okay, that's one thing. So they're climbing all over the roof, banging. Mrs. Squirrel's freaking out. Like, is the roof going to cave in? No. Oh my god, why do they have to make so much noise? Because they're moving roof tiles and screwing things in and fixing panels to our roof, so that's why. Just ignore it, dear. But they're making a lot of noise. Yes, I know they're making a lot of noise. Just ignore it. Watch TV. Oh my god. Stress levels going like this, slowly building up. Go back to the bloke. He said, yeah, but he's been on the phone for the last 2 hours. He said, I've got an idea. He said, we don't need the second inverter. I said, what do you mean you don't need the second inverter? Like, literally, your guys said you have to have 2 inverters because there's too many panels. Yeah, but I figured out a way we can do it because you're buying a big inverter. And I'm like, yeah. And I said to him, wait, how many strings are you putting in? Now, I'll pause here. Does everybody know what a string is in solar panel talk? Does everybody understand the concept of a string before I continue? Because if not, I'll have to explain it. You don't. Right, okay. So a string is the name they use for a set of panels. Think of it that way. So what you do is you take a bit of wire and you link panels together, right? And then when the wire comes back, that wire there is called a string. It's a string of panels. They're all connected in series, right? A bit like a set of lights, yeah. That's called a string. Now, the inverter has 2 sockets on it they're called MPPT. We won't get into that. 2 sockets, but you can connect a string into each one. So you put 1 string in one MPPT and the other string in the other MPPT port. So you have 2 ports, 2 strings. The big inverter can drive 2 strings. So I'm like, well, you've got 2 main panel sets. That's 2 strings. 1 on the front, 1 on the back. That's 2 strings. What are you going to do about the 4 panels on the extension? Where are they going to go? Ah, well, you see, the MPT has a positive and negative on it. So I think I've got a way of making it work. Like, we should be able to put the 2 panels on a negative and feed them in with a positive. And I'm like, all right, you've now gone beyond my knowledge. That sounds, I literally said to him, that sounds like voodoo, but you know best. Okay, you've got a plan, good. Go with it, buddy. Yeah, at that point, it stepped beyond my knowledge, and I'm like, okay. Not that he has an inverter. So anyway, the guys start putting all the panels up. 3 o'clock, they're all like, right, so we're going home now. I'm like, what? Yeah, we're going home now. Well, we've come from Doncaster, and it's a 3-hour drive. You're not staying local then? Nah. No, we have to drive here, mate. So we had to set off at like 6 a.m. and we're going to set off. Right, okay. Next day they turn up again, about 9:15. I gets on the phone to the company and I'm like, you know your guys, right? I said, you know it's winter and you've only really got 8 till 4 daylight hours. I said, I don't want to tell you how to do your job or anything, but why are these guys not staying over in a hotel? Why are they driving 3 hours here, getting here for like 9:30, and then leaving here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and having another... Like, why do they just stay in a hotel? Brackets, I'm paying you enough money. And they said, well, they were offered the opportunity to stay in a hotel, but they preferred not to. Okay, interesting. Gets off the phone, I go outside. I said, yesterday, like, I was asking about staying in a hotel. So why didn't you stay in a hotel? Oh, we were never offered the opportunity, mate. I said, yeah, there's some other team, some of the other guys, they were offered a hotel, but they never offered it to us. I'm sitting there thinking, I've literally just been told the entire opposite of what you're saying. So somebody is telling porcupines. But whatever. The company said to me, that's why we allowed 3 days for the install, because we've included the travel time. Okay. Can't argue with that so much. One guy insisted on going via the M25. So he came from Coventry, and for reasons only known to himself, he came from Coventry to Chelmsford via the M25. Not the A14 M11, but via the M25, which I might add, had oil protesters on it all week. So this guy arrived at 11 a.m. because he got stuck in M25 closures. And when he arrived, everybody else, including me, called him an idiot. Why would you go the M25 direction? Are you mad? So on they crack, right? Panels are going up. End of day 2, all the back panels are on. Progress. All the back panels are on. Now, on the Wednesday, I'd said to the electrician, I said, just want to check a few details with you, right? I did order bird protection, so make sure that's all done as well. Yeah, got you, mate, yeah. We gets to Thursday, and I thought, you know what? There's no inverter here. We don't have a main inverter. I'm having a look around, I'm thinking, I'm not sure I see any bird protection going on here for the panels. So I thought, I'll phone the company up. I phoned the company up and I said, you do realise that we're on day 2 and there's no inverter? Like, how are you going to finish this tomorrow? Oh, well, I've just ordered, like, the inverter's just been collected. It'll be with you today, before they leave. Before they leave, they said. It will be with you before they leave. Right, okay. I'm thinking to myself, they leave at 3 o'clock. That's going to be interesting. And then this other debate ensued. Well, I've missed a bit out here, actually. So when they turned up on the Wednesday, I took the electrician upstairs to the loft, and this is where I surprised him a little bit. And I always knew this was going to happen, because if you remember, I ordered 3 batteries, right, that they didn't know about. And I figured it was going to go one of 2 ways, right? Either they would turn up with their battery and say to me, yeah, that's fine, we can just wire the extra ones in, no problem. right? Or they would turn up and say, we didn't supply them, we're only going to wire up this battery. Okay, fair play. I'll wire it up myself. I literally looked at the manual. It's not hard. You set some dip switches and you connect them together, and it's pretty easy. You tell the inverter how big they are, and that's that. It's not hard. However, the thing I wasn't prepared for was them turning up with a different battery. So they turned up with the newer version of the battery. So my batteries are like big black boxes that fit in a server rack. Their new battery is this lovely white thing that mounts on the wall. At which point he said to me, and that battery won't work with your batteries. And I'm like, expletives. That is a major problem. That's a problem. That's a big problem. How's this going to pan out? Rip, rip, rip. So, I'm thinking, well, this has not gone to plan so far. You know, they're cutting me some slack at this point, because I'm being very understanding with them at the company. I'm like, yes, I understand your installation manager had to be let go because he messed things up, and yes, and she keeps saying to me, thank you for understanding, thank you for being patient. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So when I eventually got back on the phone and said, you've sent a battery and I've ordered some more, right? I've ordered some more of the batteries. Ah, yes, but the ones you've ordered aren't the right ones. I'm like, no. If you look at the original agreement, it literally says what the battery model is, and I ordered 3 more of those. You guys have changed to a newer battery. And the worst thing is, they're completely in their rights to do it, because in the contract it says that they can change equipment as long as it's a similar spec, which is what they've done. They've changed to a newer battery. They're allowed to do it. Yeah, this is my week, Jappy One. This is why my stress levels are high this week. So I've got this situation on my hand. I'm like, okay, bit of give and take here. I said, look, I can't use your new battery. I've got 3 of the other ones here. The ones that I was expecting, they're not here. She said, well, what do you want to do? I said, unfortunately, I can't use your new battery. I said, do you happen to have any of the older ones lying around? I'll quite happily take one of the older ones if you've got one. And she said, well, let me phone the warehouse and see what we've got. So she phoned the warehouse. She came back to me. She said, we've got 2 of the older batteries lying around, but we don't know what state they're in. We don't know if they were returned or if they're faulty. We don't know. So she said, I'm going to same-day courier both batteries down to you today. This was Thursday. I'm going to same-day courier them down to you. Both of them, and hopefully one of them will work. I was like, okay, that's pretty understanding of them. Maybe I'll get a good battery out of this. If not, maybe I've got 3 of my own I can use anyway. So, this van turns up at 5 o'clock. They got picked up at 10 o'clock. They arrived at 5 o'clock. This courier dropped off these 2 batteries. One of them wasn't in a box, and the other one was in a box. So I'm like, okay, we'll just have to see how this goes, right? But the batteries turned up, and they same-day couriered them down to me, and I thought, well, that's nice of them, you know? They're trying to fix the problem here. And they could have been really annoying with me. They could have been really argumentative about the whole thing. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that ordered batteries and never told them about it, right? No, there's 5 at the moment, just see. Two ones we don't know anything about, and the 3 I ordered. So, Thursday morning, the electrician arrives nice and early. Sorry, Friday morning, last day, electrician arrives nice and early. No, the incompatible ones don't count. In fact, the best thing is, the newer battery, the incompatible ones, they sent 2 of them, for reasons nobody knows. Not 1, 2. I never ordered 2, but they sent 2. So that's just another little detail. So there was 2 brand new style batteries sat down the side of my house that I couldn't use. 2 that had been found in the back of the warehouse, quite literally, that were in my hall. And then in the attic, my 3. There were just batteries everywhere. It's like Duracell. So Friday morning, the electrician turns up. The boys jump on the roof, crack on, start fitting panels. Oh, and that was the other thing. I said to them on the Thursday, this is the other thing. And again, it's just one of those hunches that I had. So on Thursday, I said to the guys, I said, you do know that I've got bird protection to go on the panels, don't you? And the roofers looked at me like, what? I said, I ordered bird protection. He said, oh, well, I didn't know about that, mate. I said, well, I paid a lot of money for it, so, you know, I want bird protection. I said, the birds around here pretty bad. They will nest underneath the panels and cause damage. I want bird protection. I paid for it. It's on the order. Right, mate. Well, give us a minute. They phoned the office. Next thing, this Beth woman's right, I'll courier down some bird protection for the morning. So, literally, I ordered it with bird protection, and even that hadn't turned up. So on Friday morning, the last day of installation, one inverter turns up, and a load of bird protection, and some extra cables. And these guys went to Screwfix 3 times to get some extra bits that they needed, like screws and bolts and stuff. It was just unbelievable. It was unbelievable. So the roofer guys, they were making good progress. So Friday morning, they're busy putting all the panels on the front, and they come down and see me. They said, right, mate, we've got all the panels on now. We're just about to start on the bird protection. I'm like, had a look at it, and they genuinely done a great job. These roofers had done a fantastic job. They put the panels on nice together. They've laid them out really well. They've got bird protection on the side. It looks really good. I'm like, fair play. Inside, in my attic, the inverter is now on the wall. All the wiring, really good job. It's got all these breakers, connectors, everything. All looks really, really nice. And then the problem starts. So it's about 11 a.m., midday, and this guy is wiring everything together, and he's testing everything. Hang on, let me just wait for the ads. Let's drop this off. Take a minute. Wait for the ads. I know, Jay. You'll have to sub, mate. That's what they want you to do. Sub and you won't get any ads. That's what they want. Or get Twitch Turbo or something. Not that he can hear me anyway, so it's kind of pointless. I ran him when I went for a break, which is about an hour ago. I don't know why people are getting 8 ads. I don't understand it anymore, if I'm honest. My dashboard doesn't show that many, so who knows what they're doing. It seems like they run more than I see that they're supposed to be running. Anyway. Brake, engine, trailer. Synchronizing with World of Trucks. Who's that? How do we say that? Thank you for the raid. I think your name's Muno Zimper. I think it's our Muno Zimper. I think. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome. Thanks for the raid. A Big Bad Bod, thank you 31 months. Mr. Kayla, 17 months. D-Dutch was 44.
Or do I hear a kettle going off due to this solar problem?
Thank you, bless you. Listen, guys, if you do miss any of this story out because of ads, you will be able to watch it tomorrow on SquirrelPlus on the YouTube channel, and you won't have that problem because that will be all on YouTube video, right? So you can pick up what you've missed tomorrow if you miss anything. think was going to drive down the road for something. No, he wasn't, because we've done it already. Abilene. Right, so anywhere towards San Antonio would be good, or even towards Lufkin. Like, we've got lots of options here. Let's make it 6 a.m. I don't know, Ryan. Honestly, like the dashboard, you basically set out how many ads you want per hour, right? And I don't like too many. You set how big a chunk and how far apart they are. But what actually happens just doesn't seem to line up with it. And people get them at different times as well. Sugar Glady Dude, thank you for 44 months, which makes telling a story pretty hard. What did we get up to? Right, so we're now on Friday. Let's just summarize where we are. Caparol, thank you for 62 months. Arrow, thank you for 14. Thank you for gifting a sub to Fabulous Cuddle for 14 months. Right, summarize where we are. All the panels are on the roof. All the bird protection is on. The outside looks great. Inside, in the loft, the inverter is now on the wall. All the wiring is all done. We've taken the batteries. I've gone up there and said, right, are all the batteries working? And this is where the next problem starts, right? So I ordered 3 brand new batteries, and one of them isn't working. It's a brand new battery, and one of them has got an alarm beeping constantly. I'm like, could this possibly get any worse? I've got 3 batteries that I ordered in August, and one of them is not working. It's a brand new battery. Right, so I say to him, well, the other 2 that you sent, what's the status of those 2? He said, well, one of them is broken. It's got an alarm beeping on it constantly. An alarm light flashing. And the other one appears to be working okay, but I don't know how good it is, but it appears to be working. So I said to him, do you have any contacts at SunSync? Can we just directly speak to them and try and find out why it's beeping? So he gets on the phone to this guy, South Africa. There's a guy in South Africa, you can hardly understand a word he's saying. Honestly, it was like talking to one of these Nigerian scammers, you know? I couldn't understand half he was saying. Anyway, he connects into the battery, and he's doing remote tests and all this kind of thing. An hour later, the electrician's carrying on with his work. An hour later, this guy, after doing all these tests, he's trying to force charge it. He's trying to do all kinds of things. And he says to me, he said, yeah, I think the battery is faulty. He said, where did you buy it from? I said, this is the company I bought it from. He said, right, what I'll do is I'll send you an email basically saying that this battery is faulty, and you'll have to go back to them and like sort it out under warranty. I was like, cool. And then we have a whole lot of what's your email address. I said to him, can you spell out your email address? And it was the most ridiculous farce you've ever heard. Because he's like from South Africa with this weird name and weird, like he couldn't even pronounce his own name that I would understand. He had to spell each letter out. And even then he wasn't Anyway, I got an email sent to him. He replied back, said the battery's faulty. I've got to deal with that on Monday. So right now I have 2 working batteries that I bought. One of them's broken, and I have to warranty replace on Monday. One of the batteries they sent me is now in my rack. So I've got 3 batteries. 2 are mine. One of them is one they supplied from the back of the warehouse. That is how we're configured right now. And then, and because it's still not finished yet, and then the problems really start. So you remember back at the start of the story when this electrician in his infinite wisdom said, you don't need 2 inverters. You only need 1, and I'm going to do some voodoo magic and make it all work mystically. Yeah? It didn't work. I said, how's it going? He said, well, when I tried to hook up all the 4 panels on your extension, he said, I'm getting a fault. I'm getting an overcurrent fault. I'm like, you're getting an overcurrent fault? I said, is that because you've got too many panels going into the inverter? Is that why they wanted an extra inverter? He's like, well, yeah, but that won't work. That should never have been spec'd out. I said, yeah, but you've got too many panels for the inverter. Yeah, but I've talked to SunSync, and in theory, this should work. But your inverter's saying it doesn't like it. So, like, it's like 1 o'clock, 1:30, and this guy can't get the panels to work. And he's on the phone. He's on the phone to somebody in the company that knows these inverters better than him. And this guy's like, yeah, change this setting, change that setting, do this, do that. Have you tested this? Have you done that? The voltage on this? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sat there like, I got to go out at 3, but it doesn't matter because they're probably going to leave at 3 anyway, aren't they? So he goes, so I leave him for an hour. I keep coming back with a coffee every hour. How's it going? I leave him for a bit. And I come back to him and I say, right, what's the deal? What's the crack? Have you cracked it? Like, what's going on? He said, well, basically, at the moment, we're going to have to just not have the 4 panels connected until... He said, I've been speaking to Jordan. Jordan's apparently the guy that knows everything about this inverter. Been speaking to Jordan. We're going to have to book a revisit. He's going to have to come back. Jordan's going to have to come down and sort it out, basically, because it's now gone beyond his knowledge. Right, okay. He said, so you'll still be left with 24 panels. They're all working fine. Okay, good. He said, but the battery, I'll disconnect the batteries. Why? Well, because it's doing some weird thing, and it's not like charging the batteries properly. I'm like, really? So I said, so basically, you're going to leave me with panels up and no battery until somebody can come back and fix it. Next thing, his phone rings, and it's Jordan again. And Jordan's going, how's it going? He said, well, I'm going to leave it there, mate. I've disconnected his battery. I could hear Jordan go, why? Why have you disconnected his battery? Well, because it wouldn't blah, 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 blah. Have you changed this set? Like, we've put this to this. So he goes back to the inverter. He's just, literally, the guy was about to leave my attic. And Jordan stepped in and said, go to the inverter, do this, do that, do that. There you go. It's done. So this Jordan guy knows more about configuring that inverter than he does. And he got my batteries working. So part of me is thinking, was the system designed with 2 inverters and it would work that way? Or is it just this guy isn't as skilled as Jordan with the inverter? I don't know. I don't know which way it's going to go yet. But the way it's been left is I have 24 panels and my batteries are plugged in at the moment. And I'm now waiting till Monday to find out what they're going to do about fixing the rest of it. All the panels are up. They're all bird protected. I have 3 working batteries. One I'm going to have to try and return under warranty. And some guy's going to have to come back and fix the rest of it. That's where I'm at right now. That was my 3 days of absolute stress, quite frankly. And it's still not fixed. 24 out of 28. So there's still about 9.6 kilowatts of panels up there, but it should be 11.2. No, so they've knocked off money for the inverter. So I've already had a bill reduction. But right now, this is what it looks like. What's the weather outside? So right now, I don't know if you can see this. So there you go. It says capacity 11.2 kilowatts, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then there's like a diagram there. So that's what it's currently doing. So you can see that the inverter's in the middle of the diagram. And then bottom right where the little house is, that's what my house is currently demanding. Then top right where the little pylon is, that's what it's pulling from the grid. So it's trying to meet the demand. Top left is the panels. So you can see the panels right now, even though it's a cloudy day, it's still generating 1.1 kilowatts, which is not bad. That's not terrible. So it's throwing that into the inverter. It's also throwing some surplus power into the battery bottom left. Yeah, that's the entire house draw, Ian. Yeah, so right now, it's pulling in a bit of power off the grid. Is that 30 watts? I can't read it. So from what I can work out, it pulls 38 watts from the grid, which is power that it needs to operate, I think. And then the rest is coming from the solar panel. So right now, all of this entire stream right now is being powered by solar power from a cloudy day. That's what's currently happening. I am literally buying 38 watts from the grid, and everything else is coming from cloudy sunlight, which is pretty neat, right? I mean, that's actually quite cool. And my battery is being charged a little bit, bottom left, which is awesome. And then it has like some stats for the day. If I can scroll up here. So there's like some graphs that you can look at down here that it sort of shows you what the grid's doing.
Good early morning from NSW, Australia, 12:04 a.m. Hope you are doing well.
Official Volatile, I'm doing all right, mate. Thank you, sir. So, you know, it's not fully working. It'll get sorted out, I'm sure. I've got to fix the battery. But for winter cloudy day, 1.1 kilowatts, and I'm powering the entire stream on sunlight. And if I look at the weather right now, if I look at the weather in Chelmsford, you can see that at about, what's that, 2 o'clock? We're due sunlight soon. We're due, like, it's cloudy at the moment, but the sun should come out for the last few hours. And it'll be interesting to see what the solar panels start generating when they start getting hit by some pretty low level. I mean, the sun's very low in winter. You know, we're in the middle of November. It's not great sunlight, but man, winter sunlight powering my stream. I mean, that's pretty neat. That, not gonna lie. Fuzzball, thank 53 months. So it's been a very stressful week dealing with this. Like the uncertainty of, am I gonna get scaffolding? Is the installation gonna happen? Is the inverter gonna arrive? Why is my battery dead? Why have you sent a new battery? Oh my God, it's been so stressful. Like Thursday morning, I think I had 3 hours sleep and I got up at 6 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. I was so stressed out. My mind was just flying around. But here we are. I've got sunlight. Which degree and which direction are your panels? When you say degree, do you mean tilt? I think my apex of my roof is like 45 degrees. The east-west. So it's an east-west facing roof. So right now I've got 12 panels facing east and 12 panels facing west, which means I get the sunlight in the morning and the sunlight in the evening, and through the day it goes over the top. They won't ever work as well as a south-facing panel, but they'll get a very nice spread of power through the day. If you go with south-facing panels, you can get a better wattage out of each panel, but you can also cap the inverter, because if you say, a lot of people will go with like a 5 kilowatt inverter. Now, if you have enough panels and the sunlight's strong enough, those panels can generate more than 5 kilowatts, at which point you'll see it on your graph. You'll see the power come up, and then when it gets to 5 kilowatts, it flatlines like that. Because like the panels are able to generate 6 or 7, and the inverter can't deal with it. So it just literally flatlines, it chops the top of it off. So you're actually losing power. If you go east-west, the ideal combination, I think, is some east, some west, some south. And then you get fantastic, you know, but I can't do that. I can only do east-west. No, they don't. They don't ever tilt them. They're literally bolted flat on a rail on your roof. Whichever way your roof is facing, that's the way they will face. Right, we're going to go down to Abilene, whatever it's called. Forklifts or beverages. Meh. Your roof is northwest to southeast. I would only put panels on the southeast. Don't ever put panels facing north in any capacity. Like literally, you've got like 180 degrees east, west, and anything south. do not face anything north. It's just not worth it. Just go with the southeast roof and get as many up there as you can. What was that? Did you figure out what? I missed that. You said, did you figure something out? Did you figure out how long until you recoup the initial cost? Right now, it's hard to say. However, I calculated this.
Some cake?
And a cup of tea, the kettle blew some steam off.
I calculated this to be 7 years, but that was back in February, March, and since then electric's gone up a lot. My estimate would be five and a bit. But it's like, do I spend the next 5 years giving money to an electric company, or do I spend the next 5 years prepaying for all that electric as solar panels and inverter? And then after 5 years, that's all free money. That's the way I looked at it. It's like, it's just a huge investment. It's a lot of money up front. That's the problem. It's a lot of money up front. But then if you get the right system and you're not moving, if you're going to move house in the next 5 years, don't bother, right? But if you're staying where you are, that upfront investment means you're not throwing money away. Any money you pay to the electric company is dead money. Any money you spend on a panel, that's an investment in your property. You can ask how much it was, but I'm not going to say. The warranty, I don't know the warranties on the inverter. I think it's, I don't know. The panel warranties are 25 years. So the way solar panels work is they warrant them for 25 years at 80% of their nominal rating. What does that mean? It means if you order a 400 watt battery, then, sorry, if you order a 400 watt solar panel, within 25 years, it will always perform at least 320 watts. At least. It will slowly degrade to like 320 watts over 25 years. You price your house, it was 10k for batteries and inverter, another 10k for the panels. Should never be 10k for the panels, dude. Each panel retails for about £220. Yeah? That's the retail price. So you just got to pay somebody to get up there and put them up there. So you can do mental maths in your head. Let's say if they're retailing at 220, they're probably going to sell you them at 300 installed. Ish. So if you want 10 panels, that should be £3,000. And then the inverter's on top, which is going to be anywhere between 500 and 1,000. Electrician for a couple of days. There's no a 10k for the battery. It's very hard to get around the battery price because batteries are expensive and hard to get hold of. But 3k for the scaffolding alone shouldn't cost 3k for that. Shouldn't cost £3,000 for scaffolding. Yeah, 25 years, Crawdaddy, minimum. They generally last longer though. Anyway. That's where we're at. So on Monday, I've got to try and see if I can get my faulty battery swapped out. And then I've got to wait for them to come back again. Wait, what am I? Am I getting this from here? I must be getting this from here. It's external. I'm not paying attention. Did I get external or did I get... Oh, forgotten. Is it that one? It's that one, isn't it? There we go. Why do you need scaffolding here? They use a ladder, panels on the shoulder. You cannot do that in this country. The Working at Heights Act 2005 basically eliminated that problem. Anything over a few meters in height, they have to have scaffolding. There are very few things that you can just get up on a ladder now and just deal with. That's because too many people kept falling off ladders and seriously injuring themselves So they passed a law to make it illegal, which of course put the price of everything up, but it also meant people stopped dying and getting injured. So it's the law. In all honesty, you don't want to be climbing. You do not want to be climbing all over a roof, like 5 meters up. If you slip without a scaffolding, your ladder's not going to stop you. You'd have a 3-story house would be expensive for you. Well, not really. Like, you just need a bit more scaffolding, and you know what I mean. They might be there like an hour or two longer, and use a bit more scaffolding. It won't be substantially more, just because you've got an extra story. Like, to a scaffolder, it's just more stuff and just a bit higher. Where's that, GLD? Which country's that? I don't like ladders, Coops. If ever I go up a ladder, I have Mrs. Squirrel stood at the bottom, like holding it with her feet underneath the feet, because I just don't trust ladders. Like, the contact point on the ground is so small. I just, you know, I don't trust them. Once I get above a certain height, I'm like, right, I want somebody there now. To be fair, the roofers did turn up with their own ladders, which they used, because the scaffolding, you need ladders to get on it, and their ladders are like proper ladders, you know, the one with the stabilizing feet and everything, so they're way better than my ladders. They're like anti-tilt ladders. Yeah, but Coops, it's the difference in a plane. You know, you're not just going to fall. It's not... I don't really have a fear of heights. I have a fear of falling, if that makes sense. So that's the story. That's the solar panel story right there.